Hello everybody, my name is Zen and welcome back to more Diablo 3 where we're going to take a look at patch 2.7.2 PTR. This is the first day of testing, so just a little warning, things are going to change before the actual patch and season 25 go live. So just kind of keep that in mind, but we are going to take a look at the initial stuff here and see how it all works. So season 25 is primarily going to focus on these new gems. There are 7 of them and they can rank up. I'll explain how to get them and everything in a moment, but there are 2 sets. There are lesser soul shards, which is this group here, and then there are primeval soul shards, which are this group here. The lesser soul shards can go into weapons and the primeval ones can go into helms. You can only have 2 equipped at a time, obviously, because you got a weapon and then you got the helm. But this is going to be very interesting this season because these are wacko. They are so crazy and out there. At a glance, I can't tell whether this season is going to be a good one or a bad one. Like the last one with the primals and stuff, or not the primals, but the ethereals, and that was an awesome season. I think for the vast majority of people, it was a lot of fun. This one, we're gonna see. All right, let's dive in and look at the primeval ones first. These are the ones that go in the helm. So the first one you have is the Fragment of Destruction. And it says you move unhindered through enemies. Each enemy you pass through will be marked by destruction for 7 seconds. Each marked enemy that dies removes 1 second from one of your skills on cooldown. It's pretty cool. If the mark of destruction expires before the enemy dies, so if it's been 7 seconds you haven't killed it, you lose 2% of your maximum health as damage, which isn't that bad. Marks are not applied if you are below 35% health. So you have to remain high health in order to apply it. And then there is an item that you get. It's called the Hellforge Ember. It's kind of like a Ramalandi's. They are quite rare, but you use them to upgrade these gems. So if I used one here, it would put it at rank 1, but I'm just going to leave this one at rank 0 so we can go through, because you can see that you can rank it up a few times. Rank 1 adds a bunch of stuff. So this is the first rank, but when you rank it up the first time, it gives you plus 25% life, reduce cooldown of all skills by 13.5%, reduce all resource costs by 12.5%, plus 33% extra gold for monsters, plus 42% experience for 0.2 at level 70. And then it has the main effect. So that's like a pretty nice upgrade. That's a lot of extra stuff on there. It's better than just like your standard diamond in the helm or anything like that, right? So that's the first rank up. The second one, 666 resistance to all elements. Ooh, that's beautiful. That's a nice one. That's the only thing that's added on this rank, but 666 resistance is a lot. And then the final one adds a 1091 dexterity. Pretty good. And you now leave a trail of fire in your wake that slays enemies with the mark of destruction that are below 10% health. So basically you're doing the whole mark that you're putting them, you're putting on them. And then if they are in the trail of fire and they're below 10% health, it's kind of like the curse from necromancers. It's just automatically going to kill them at 10% health. And that's kind of nice. So you're effectively doing 10% health just from that effect. Pretty cool. So that's the Fragment of Destruction. I should mention as we go forward that this does not work with Leoric's Crown. I've got it confirmed. It does not work. So like this is not going to have a doubled effect on it if you have 100% on your Leoric's Crown. It doesn't work that way. So just keep that in mind. So Leoric's Crown is good if you're not using one of these for this next season, but otherwise it is just going to be cubed or whatever and gotten rid of. I'm sure there are going to be some farming things that don't use some of these, but these are insane. So let's go to the next one, the Sliver of Terror. Your cooldowns are increased by 25%. Sounds kind of bad. For every skill on cooldown, you take 12.5% reduced damage and deal 75% increased damage. Whew, that's really nice. Imagine playing like a Legacy of Dreams I don't know, Necromancer, where you have like all of your huge long cooldowns, like Land of the Dead and whatever, and you just constantly have those on cooldown. You know, you're doing for each skill an extra 75% increased damage. That's a lot. That's a lot of extra coming in there. I like it. But then we upgrade it and we get 23% life. You're going to see kind of something similar. We're getting life and resource cost, cooldown and all that. So 23% life, reduced cooldown by 13%, resource cost by 12.5%, extra gold is 32%, and 46% experience. Pretty nice. Move down one. This one actually doesn't, like this one gives us the 666 resistance to all elements. That's pretty good. This one does not. It does reduce damage from ranged attacks by 19%. It's not bad. Final one though, your attack speed and critical hit chance are increased by 7% for each skill on cooldown. So you're just going like super attack speed now. I love it. It's great. Okay, then let's move on to the Shard of Hatred. This one's interesting. You deal 15% reduced damage while you have 3 or fewer enemies within 25 yards. If more than 3 enemies are within the same distance, you deal 10% increased damage per enemy to a maximum of 100%. That's real good if you're, you know, let's say you're pushing graders. You got a bunch of enemies around you. It's really nice. Then the upgrade is 25% life, cooldown by 14.5%, resource cost by 14%, 34% extra gold, 49% experience. Rank 2 is 973 vitality, which is pretty good, but not amazing. And then finally, you get 660 armor and killing elite. This is really cool. Killing an elite pulls all enemies within 40 yards to where the elite died. So imagine like a cyclone strike going off anytime you kill an elite. It's really nice. So those are all the prime evil shards. Let's go look at the lesser soul shards. The Remnant of Pain, which I swear looks like a baguette or a carrot, but it's not. It's the maggots from Duriel from Diablo 2. I get it. It's cool. It just looks like a baguette to me. Your critical hit chance is reduced by 15%. Attacks against incapacitated enemies are automatically critical hits. Woo, that's real nice. Imagine using like bone armor, dislocate, you stun them all, and then now everything's going to be a critical hit. It's really nice. The next upgrade is 284 damage. Remember, this goes into a weapon, so it would increase your weapon by 284, and you can get these while leveling up. Whether or not you can get the Hellforge Ember, that's going to be rare, and if you do manage to get one, this is not a bad option because you're getting that extra damage on your weapon. You get critical hit damage increased by 144%, increased damage against elites by 22%. You get 28,939 life per hit, 39,724 thorns damage. Whew, that's real good, isn't it? The second upgrade goes to arcane skills, deal 73% more damage. I mean, that's okay. The thing is, and this is what makes these wonky and weird. Arcane skills, 73% more damage, that's cool and all. But imagine you were running this on a Crusader and you were like, yes, I'm going to do like an Invoker Crusader. So I'm just going to get the extra thorns damage in my weapon. Pretty good. But then the arcane skills doing 73% more damage just don't affect you. So it is interesting. And this isn't the only one that does that. We'll see as we go. The final upgrade to this does when you critically hit an enemy, you increase the attack speed of all players by 5% for 5 seconds, max 10 stacks. Whew. That's really good. Unfortunately, like if you were going to run a Thorns build, you're not critting at all. But the thing is, if you're doing like your Thorns damage, it's just not. Basically, what I'm trying to say is the Thorns damage seems cool, but if you're going to run this on a Thorns build, I don't know if it would actually work too well compared to some of the others. But the whole thing of, you know, stunning them and then suddenly just like bashing them to death with crits, it's pretty nice. Stain of Sin is you deal 25% less damage. When you kill an elite enemy, you spawn a pool of blood that increases damage, the damage non-elite enemies receive by 250%. That lasts 7 seconds. So you deal 25% less damage, but if you kill an elite, it puts a pool on the ground. Everything takes 250% extra damage. Unfortunately, it doesn't work on more of the rares, so you can't just focus one down and then hope to kill the rest with the 250. The next upgrade adds 292 damage, 28,091 life per second. The crit hit damage is 149. The elite damage is 25%, and the thorns damage is 38.8%. You see what I mean by like this one may not be the best one for like a thorns build, but you see where we go here. The next upgrade is you get arcane skills by 54% more damage. See how they're both arcane on that? It's wonky, but it's there. And then the final upgrade, your pool of blood now collects rift progress orbs. That's so funny. It's just weird, but it works. This would be a pretty nice speed farm build for speed graders or just normal graders, because you just kill an elite, the pool goes down, you don't even have to pick up the orbs anymore. It's really nice. The orb or the pool is quite nice. And then we got the Essence of Anguish. Every time you deal poison damage to an enemy, you increase your cooldown reduction, movement speed, and damage received by 5% for 10 seconds, max 10 stacks. So you do increase damage received, but the cooldown reduction, movement speed, all that's really nice. Good for speeds again. The first upgrade is 282 damage, crit hit damage by 141. Damage against elites by 22%, 29,642 life per hit, 39,674 thorns damage. The next upgrade gives you the physical skills deal 72% more damage, which this is the only physical skill one. These were both arcane. So just keep that in mind. And then the final upgrade is your movement speed and cooldown reduction can be increased up to 15 times by dealing poison damage to an enemy, which is nice. Notice how it does not say that the damage received is also increased. So I don't know if that does stack up an extra 5% or not, but this is a super nice speed farm gem for one of your weapons. And of course, you're getting the extra crit hit damage there, so there's no reason to be running like an Emerald, for instance. Dregs of Lies is another interesting one. I actually really like this one. I like the concept of it and how it might work. Reduce the damage of enemies hit by 33% for 5 seconds. Damage you deal is reduced by 50%. Huge nerf on your damage, but if you're wanting to play some kind of support build, this may be the gem to use. You get 297 damage on the weapon. Increased damage against the elites by 22%. Then you get holy skills do 74% more damage. And then finally you get, and this is wonky, you get attack speed by 13%, and then reduce the damage of enemies hit by 33% for 5 seconds. Or sorry, upon receiving fatal damage, spawn a shadow that prevents your death. Restores your health to 35% and grants 225 all resist to all party members while it is active. The shadow only lasts 15 seconds. Whew, that's cool. And like, that's the thing is, these are all really weird, but they're all really cool at the same time. And I'm really curious how they're going to work out. I can definitely imagine some of these receiving balance passes, whether to buff them or to nerf them. And my fear is that in the season, there's going to be one gem that you run in each, and you're not swapping them out at all. And there's no variety there. That would be the worst case scenario for these things. Best case scenario, you have one for like different builds and all classes are running different ones. That would be the best case scenario, but we'll see how that ends up working, because some of these are really cool and some of these are pretty mediocre. It is definitely interesting though. And say what you want about some boring Diablo 3 season stuff that we've had over the years. This is definitely different, and it is weird and crazy and off the wall. And I like it. I like crazy off the wall stuff, because you could do that in a season. It's only going to last a few months and, then it's gone. So why not kind of throw everything and see what sticks? I like this a lot though. So I'm very curious to see how this is going to work. Outside of that, there's just a couple balance changes for like the Marauder set for Demon Hunter, for, I think it's Rathma's for Necromancer, Erikir's set for Witch Doctor. And there's a Barbarian item that got changed. Just kind of random balance stuff. Some of it quite good. The Witch Doctor is going to see, some pretty nice buffs to some of the pet builds this time. But, this seasonal thing is going to be very interesting. Let me know what you guys think about all of these. Which is your favorite gem? Let me know. Is it the baguette? Is it the thing that looks like a jack-o'-lantern? Or, is it the soul stone? What is it? They're all interesting and weird. The way that you get these, as a final note, is they drop just on their own. You just farm them out, they'll drop. You could get them out of a chest or out of a pot or anything like that. They'll just drop. But they have a higher chance of dropping from bosses. In particular, they actually, and most of the ones that I found when I first started this seasonal character, even with this stupid seasonal buff, were from bosses. But that's probably going to be how you end up finding them this time around, either through Rift Guardians or going and killing bosses for bounties. So keep that in mind. I'm sure there's going to be a really interesting way to level up this season because of this, especially depending on which of these you get. So keep an eye out for a guide as we get closer to the launch of season 25. Let me know which of these are your favorite, and we shall see you guys next time.